The Curse of the Pharaohs is a very old and famous story. It is a legend that has captured the minds of people all around the world for many years. The idea is simple but powerful. It says that anyone who dares to disturb the final resting place of a great Egyptian king will face terrible luck, sickness, or even death. These curses were supposedly written on the walls of the tombs. They were meant to protect the pharaohs and their treasures in the afterlife. They served as a warning to any thieves or explorers who might try to enter the sacred burial chambers and take what was not theirs. This idea of a curse is so interesting because it mixes history, mystery, and the supernatural. People love a good mystery, especially one that comes from the ancient world of Egypt. We think of the Great Pyramids, the golden masks, and the powerful pharaohs who ruled like gods on earth. The thought that their spirits could reach out from the past to punish those who disturb them is a thrilling one. It makes the past feel alive and dangerous. The curse is more than just a story. It is a bridge that connects our modern world to the magical beliefs of ancient Egypt, making history feel personal and exciting. In my many years working as an archaeologist in Egypt, I have seen the power of this legend firsthand. Tourists and journalists always ask me about the curse. They want to know if I am afraid to enter the tombs. They wonder if I have ever seen anything strange or unexplainable in the dark corridors beneath the sand. The story has been told in so many books and movies that it has become a real part of how people see my work and my country's history. It adds a layer of adventure and a hint of fear to the scientific work of uncovering the secrets of my ancestors. The warnings in the tombs were very real to the ancient Egyptians. They truly believed in the power of magic and the importance of protecting the dead. For them, death was not an end but a journey to another world, the afterlife. The pharaoh needed his body and his belongings for this journey. Anyone who stole from the tomb was not just a thief, they were dooming the pharaoh's soul for eternity. So these curses were the ultimate security system, a spiritual alarm set to guard the kings forever. It is this deep, ancient belief that gives the legend of the curse its enduring and fascinating power. The most famous story connected to the pharaoh's curse is the discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb. This incredible event happened in 1922 in the Valley of the Kings. An English archaeologist named Howard Carter had been searching for this lost tomb for many years. He was funded by a wealthy man, Lord Carnarvon. After years of hard work and very little success, they were about to give up. But Carter's team made one final effort. A young water boy working on the excavation accidentally stumbled upon a step cut into the rock, hidden beneath the desert sand. This was the beginning of the greatest discovery. Howard Carter and his team carefully cleared away the sand and rubble. They soon uncovered a full staircase leading down into the earth. At the bottom was a sealed door, stamped with the seals of the royal necropolis. Carter knew he had found something truly special, something untouched for thousands of years. He sent a message to Lord Carnarvon telling him to come to Egypt immediately. When Lord Carnarvon arrived, they broke through the first doorway. They walked down a short passage and found another sealed door. This was the moment the whole world was waiting for. With trembling hands, Carter made a small hole in the corner of the second door. He held up a candle to peek inside. Lord Carnarvon stood behind him, asking anxiously, "Can you see anything?" For a moment, Carter was silent, completely stunned by what he saw. The hot air escaping from the tomb made his candle flicker. His eyes slowly adjusted to the darkness, revealing the glint of gold everywhere. He finally turned and spoke the famous words, "Yes, wonderful things." He saw strange animals, statues, and gold, everywhere the glint of gold. What they had found was the nearly intact tomb of the boy pharaoh Tutankhamun. He had been buried there over 3,000 years ago. The tomb was filled with thousands of amazing artifacts. There were golden chariots, beautiful furniture, precious jewelry, and of course, the magnificent golden sarcophagus that held the mummy of the young king himself. The discovery was a sensation around the globe. It gave us a perfect window into the life of an ancient Egyptian pharaoh. But with this great discovery, the whispers of the old curse would soon grow into a loud and terrifying roar for all to hear. Soon after the magnificent tomb of Tutankhamun was opened, strange and tragic things began to happen. This is what made people truly believe in the curse. The first person to die was Lord Carnarvon, the man who paid for the entire expedition. Just a few months after entering the tomb, he was bitten by a mosquito on his cheek. The bite became infected, and he died from blood poisoning in Cairo. At the exact moment of his death, a story spread that all the lights in Cairo mysteriously went out. Even more strangely, back in England, his favorite dog howled and died at the same time. Lord Carnarvon's death was just the beginning. Other people connected to the tomb also met with untimely ends, fueling the growing legend. George J. Gould, a wealthy American visitor, saw the tomb and then fell sick with a fever almost immediately. He died just a few months later. A British industrialist named Joel Wolfe visited the tomb, returned to London, and also died from a mysterious fever. Sir Archibald Douglas Reed, a radiologist who X-rayed Tutankhamun's mummy before it was studied, became ill and died a year later. The list seemed to grow longer and longer with each passing year. The newspapers at the time loved the story of the curse. They reported every death with dramatic headlines and spooky details. They claimed that an inscription was found in the tomb that read, "Death shall come on swift wings to him who disturbs the peace of the king." Even though no such specific inscription was ever officially documented by Carter's team, the story was too good to let go. The public became convinced that the boy king's spirit was taking its revenge. Each new incident, whether it was an illness or an accident, was immediately linked back to that fateful day when the tomb was unsealed. Even people who only had a small connection to the tomb were said to be affected. Howard Carter's personal secretary, Richard Bethel, was found dead in his bed in London. His father, Lord Westbury, was so upset that he jumped to his death from his 7th-floor apartment. On the way to the cemetery, the hearse carrying Westbury's body hit and killed a young boy. These events, all happening to people linked to Tutankhamun, created a powerful and frightening story. The world watched in horror and fascination, believing that the ancient magic of the pharaohs was real and deadly. As an archaeologist and a scientist, I must look at the facts. While the stories of the curse are very exciting, science offers a different explanation for these unfortunate events. The idea of a supernatural curse is not supported by evidence. Instead, we can find logical reasons for what happened. Let's start with Lord Carnarvon. He was not in good health before he even came to Egypt. He had been in a serious car accident years earlier that left him with weak lungs. His immune system was likely not very strong, making him more vulnerable to an infection from a simple insect bite. Scientists have also proposed another interesting theory. Ancient tombs, sealed for over 3,000 years, could contain dangerous mold and bacteria. These microscopic organisms could have grown on the walls, the treasures, and even on the mummy itself. When the tomb was opened, these dormant spores would have been released into the air. Anyone breathing in this air, especially someone with a weakened immune system like Lord Carnarvon, could develop a serious respiratory illness. This tomb toxin theory provides a scientific explanation for the mysterious fevers and sicknesses that some visitors experienced after entering. Furthermore, if we look at the numbers, the curse does not hold up. A study was done to track the lives of the people who entered the tomb. It looked at the 25 people who were most exposed to the tomb and its contents. The study found that they lived, on average, to be over 70 years old. This is a normal life expectancy for that time period. Howard Carter, the man who opened the tomb and spent the most time inside, lived for another 17 years. He died at the age of 64 from cancer, which was not considered unusual. The curse, it seems, was very selective. In the end, the curse of the pharaohs is a powerful story, but it is likely a combination of coincidence and media hype. The deaths were tragic, but they can be explained by natural causes, pre-existing health issues, and the poor medical care of the 1920s. People believe in the curse because it is a more exciting and romantic idea than simple science. It connects us to the magic of ancient Egypt. My personal view is that the real treasure of Tutankhamun was not the gold, but the knowledge we gained. We should respect the pharaohs, not by fearing a curse, but by preserving their amazing history for the entire world to learn from.